Sometimes you have to slow down to speed back up. Sometimes you have to take 3 steps to go forward fast. So in your case, you can take a step back, analyze all of your opportunities, and ask yourself, what has the lowest hanging fruit? What has the highest leverage, highest output with the minimum effort? What can I do right now that's going to make me money today, tomorrow, next week? Okay. And create a filtration process for yourself. So if your challenge and your problem and your issue is, I can't focus, or I don't know where to go, or I don't know what to start, or I don't know which opportunity to do. For example, Dr. Sam Ismail here, he has so many different things coming at him. And most people that are using the internet, they're using social media, that's how it is. You're doing LinkedIn generation, lead generation on LinkedIn. It's hard. So now you get on Facebook because you want to distract yourself. Now you see an ad, hey, how to do threads on Facebook or on Facebook's new, Meta's new platform, how to get cheap leads on YouTube. Now your mind gets distracted. Does that make sense? So, and then because you haven't put any discipline and condition, then what happens is now you're open for everything. So for me, I have a mental checklist. I even have a checklist on my wall that shows, okay, this is my opportunity filter. Because every single person, I can tell, for example, Tara here, Tara, do you want to do, let's just say Tara came up to me and she goes, hey, Shakir, you're so good at funnels and marketing. Do you want to launch a weight loss offer? My immediate answer is no. Right? It doesn't, and she's like, but I've got the greatest pill. No. But Shaq, people don't have to go to the gym. They can lose 20 pounds in like one month. I'm like, I don't care. It does not come to me at all. Does that make sense? Or if someone came up to me and they're like, they've got like some of my close friends, actually my best friend, he's in e-commerce, right? So he'll sell like pens, jewelry. Yesterday he came to my penthouse and I'm showing off this trimmer I've got, right? And he looks at it and he goes, I've sold a ton of them. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that's a drop shipping product. And I was like, I bought it from Dubai. He's like, we sold a ton of them. And it doesn't matter how lucrative that was. He could make $1 million, $10 million, doesn't matter. That does not interest me one tiny bit. Does that make sense? And even if it does, I have to become disciplined and say to myself, hey, I've never won in e-commerce. Sure, I made maybe 500K to $1 million, but for me, that's not winning. This is winning, okay? Tens of millions of dollars. These awards behind me, they represent tens of millions of dollars. You know what? Where they represent that in? In courses, coaching, consultancy, agency services. This is what I need to focus on. Everything else is a distraction. Watching YouTube videos endlessly, distraction. Checking unnecessary messages, coming up with new ideas. You do not need any more new ideas. For example, Tara and Ree, I just coached them on a funnel for doing virtual events. You can make $1 million to $10 million a year using funnels of virtual events. Do not do anything else apart from that. Does that make sense? And you have to understand this, because this is what, when you understand the devil, the shaitan, the devil, you understand what that means, yeah?
Yeah.
The devil that's working always against you, okay? Then you can play the game to win, okay? So most people, after doing 3 podcasts, apparently they give up. The 90% of people that continue doing podcasts, after 20 episodes, they give up. So that means if you did 25 episodes of your podcast, you're in the top 5%, yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
If you commit 5 to 20 hours to learn ChatGPT, to learn how to use AI, you're going to be in the top 5%, because most people will never get there. This is one of my mentors. He explained something along those lines to me. He said, if you want to master one area, read 3 books, go to 3 seminars, find 3 mentors. That's it. Okay. I got to a stage where in my 20s, like I would never consume anyone's information unless I paid like a premium 10, 20, $50,000 for coaching. I just would not pay anyone's attention. Why? Here's why, Sam. I wrote a list and the list was this: my next 3 to 5 moves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why you're not focused on one thing is because you haven't given that time to mature for you to see results, for you to get momentum, so that you can carry the ripple wave. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For example, the two people that you see on screen, Tara and Ree, put your hands up and give us a wave. Okay, so that's Tara and Ree. Okay, I can assure you they've worked really hard and they've just got some momentum, which is experiencing virtual events.
Mm-hmm.
They do that at least 2 to 3 times before they hit a 6-figure payday. Now, I know them because they're in my inner circle and I'm going to be coaching and mentoring them. I'm going to keep them focused. Here's the thing. Most people, after one event, they'll give up. After one event, they'll get distracted. After one event, they'll be like, I just knew it doesn't work. So for you, the biggest advice I can give you when it comes to this is outline 5 or 10 of your opportunities, okay? And then put it on a spreadsheet and just rate it 1 to 10. How excited are you? How profitable will this thing be? Okay? And then think to yourself, and just, again, write it out so that then you have data to come. Does that make sense? To come back and forth with it. You can write down what's the profit potential. So I'll give you an example. Obviously, I'm the funnels guy, right? So at funnels.com, we've built over 1,000 funnels, and I see so many sexy funnels. Like, you wouldn't believe some of these things I see is like crazy. Like, I see stuff that just blows my mind away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should just swipe that funnel. I should just do this. Like, one of my clients right now, he's banking $1.5 million a month. And it's like the ugliest funnel ever. And I'm like this close to thinking, man, should I? No, I have to stay focused on what I'm doing. Why? Because I can get to $10 million in the next 6 months just doing a 5-day challenge, just doing a call funnel, a book funnel, and a 3-day summit. Who cares what they're doing? It doesn't matter. If I don't do any of these 4 things, I'm being distracted. Actually, the 5th one is make YouTube videos. Okay. So those are the only 5 things I need to focus on. Everything else is a distraction. Anyone that brings anything else is a distraction. Now, I will just straight up say, I understand how easy it is to get distracted. So I have a rule for myself, and this is the rule. 80-20, okay? So you want to think of it as 80-20. Everything that you do is 80-20. So 80% of my focus has to be on my business, which is, say, funnels.com. Now, just for fun, because I am ADD, I do like to explore different things. How many of you like to explore different things?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Maybe allocate 10 to 20% of your time there. So how that works is, let's just say today I'm going to have because it's Monday, I'm going to have long days. Usually Mondays to Thursdays, I work intense. So let's just say I started today working at 5 p.m., which is too late, but whatever. 5 p.m. I started working. Let's say I'm going to work until 5. Okay, let's just say I started work at 12 p.m. and I've got a 10-hour stretch. The first 8 hours, the 80% has to be for me. Does that make sense? The last 20% could be, okay, you know what? I've got a project with a guy called John, a girl called Rachel, a crypto project. And what else do I have? And I have it all listed out. Okay, I'm actually going to show you guys this so you guys can see this. Okay, watch this. Can you guys see that screen? My whiteboard? Can you see my whiteboard? Tara, can you see my whiteboard over there?
Yes, I can
Okay,
see it.
over there.
I can't read it, but I can see it.
Yeah, you can't read it. But basically over there, it says 80% focus on my 3-day summit. Okay. And then it says 10% focus on the crypto projects, 5% on another one, 5% on another one. So the same stuff I'm teaching you guys, I try my best to practice this. Does that make sense? Dr. Sam, is this making sense to you?
Yeah.
So it's like you list out. So for example, I told you about 5 funnels that I need to focus on, 5 things in my business that make up 80% of my goals of where I want to get to. Now, I know if I just focus on funnels and I don't do anything else, like it kind of drives me a little bit nuts, okay? And I get not bored, but maybe I get bored, okay? So that's why I have the other things. But here's the kicker. I won't touch any of those other things until I've done my core work and my focus for funnels.
Right.
Right. So later on today, after I've done, I start my work day at 5 p.m. After I've done at least 5 or 6 hours of focus work for funnels.com, then I'll spend maybe an hour on the other things.
Right.
Okay. And by the way, same thing for tomorrow. Okay, so same thing. I have the same projects. They're not going anywhere, right? I still want to do some crypto stuff. I still want to work with my partners. But again, it's the same thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the gym from 8 a.m. to 10. From 10 to, let's just say, 10 till 6. Those 8 hours is just going to be for me. You have to be very selfish for you. Okay, so from those 8 to 10 to 6, those 8 hours, it's going to be all about funnels. If it's not going to help me grow funnels, podcasts, YouTube videos, one of the book funnels, I'm not interested. Okay. And in every single thing that I do, and I want you guys to adopt this mentality if you really want to scale fast, it's called a 90-day year. So instead of like thinking, okay, I'm going to spend 12 months and that's 1 year, that's lame. Most people are unconscious. They, after like 4 or 5 months, after like 2 months, they already give up on the New Year's resolution. The way to keep kickstarting yourself is every day you can start afresh. Okay, you don't have to wait for the weekend. You don't have to wait for a Monday. I don't care about it. I'll wake up and I'll say, okay, today I'll start a new 90-day year from today until boom, right? Yesterday I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to the gym. I'm doing all of this. I think I'm eating too much sugar. Not too much, but whatever. For me, it's too much. I'm like, okay, cool. Starting today, not next week. Starting today, no sugar for the next 7 days. Now, if I say this, Dr. Sam, if I said to you, hey, I'm going to quit sugar for the next 3 months, do you know how hard that is? Okay, I've done it for longer than a month. I think I've done it for nearly 1.5, 2 months. Okay. But here's the thing. I want to win, right? So I'm going to just start with 7 days or maybe 2 weeks. Okay. Why? Because I know I can win in those 2 weeks. So same way, Tara and Reed, they just did a virtual summit. I'm planning to do a virtual summit. First thing I wanted was 600 to 1,000 people on live. And then I realized the numbers don't match up because if we scale on Facebook too fast, it's going to burn the audience. Basically, my team is like, you don't want to do it because you could end up spending like 50 to 100 grand on ads and it might not work out. And I'm like, they're like, okay, just start with maybe 200 people, even 100 to 200 people on this summit. And next month we can double it. Does that make sense? So I'm like, okay, sometimes you have to slow down to speed back up. Sometimes you have to take 3 steps to go forward fast. So in your case, you can take a step back, analyze all of your opportunities and ask yourself, what has the lowest hanging fruit? What has the highest leverage, highest output with the minimum effort? What can I do right now that's going to make me money today, tomorrow, next week? Okay. And create a filtration process for yourself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. I hope that helps. And if you're watching this in the members area or on YouTube, I'll include a link down below this video on something called an impact filter. Okay. When I paid Dan Sullivan $35,000, he basically made us do this worksheet called an impact filter. I'll include a worksheet underneath this video and you guys can go use it. If you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.